Have pirates in the Ivory Coast. Oh, one of these. Ivory Coast, Pernambuco, and Gibraltar. Getting pirates in Gibraltar would be pretty nice. Except I really wish that they use the trade node names. Like, it is not called the Straits of Gibraltar, it's called Sevilla. I really wish that they use the trade node names. Because where is Pernambuco? Well, I don't know. Then on the old fort route, we need to have at least a level 3 fort in our capital, which will give us a permanent claim on West and East Cuba. These claims. These ones I quite like these. These are not just giving you claims. These, however, are... Gives you a permanent claim in the whole of the Caribbean. Permanent claim on all gold provinces in and around the Caribbean. Need to have at least 10 gold producers for this. Golden Age of Piracy, 20 years of national unrest -2. Yearly inflation reduction -0.2. So we need to go for the gold provinces is basically what that's saying. So it is a very good thing that we have economic ideas. Total navy size at least 100% of force limit. At least 100%. Which will give us naval maintenance modifier -10. Privateer efficiency of +30% for 20 years. That's pretty nice. Scourge in the 7 Seas. Must have a flagship. National sailor +10. Yearly naval tradition +0.5. And we get a general. With 50 tradition. Not an admiral, a general. Okay. Total army size at least 100% of force limit gives us +5% discipline. We must have either... Well, we must have insulted or scornfully insulted a rival. Remember, it has to rhyme. Pirate diplomacy. Aggressive expansion -10% for 20 years. And then we must have a great power rival. Interesting. That's an interesting one. Which will give us national manpower +10%, yearly army tradition +0.5, and then also 100 military power. That's quite nice. These are just generic. Increase the amount of money, have 5 churches and 5 workshops, so we need to have at least 5 provinces for that to happen. Must have at least 2,000 ducats. Own 20 manufactories. Then have 1,000 development. And then the Pirate Horde. We must have at least 3,000 ducats, and then we'll get national tax modifier, cavalry cost, and yearly prestige for 20 years. We must have any allied pirate republic, a pirate federation. Oh, and these are standalone. These are not linked. I much prefer... I really like this mission tree. This is much more interesting than many of the other mission trees to me. Which will give us 20 years of manpower recovery, land force limit, and diplomatic reputation. We can be a renowned buccaneer, which means we must have at least a 12-pip admiral. And we must have a famous pirate leader as a ruler. I wonder if that means specifically a pirate king, or to have someone like Captain Benjamin, who was event created. New Providence gets a mighty pirates TM for 20 years. National tax and morale of armies. And then the pirate round, which will require us to be in the Ganges, Comorin, or Thata, which I guess is India. Again, not using the trade nodes. And then we'll get a permanent claim on Madagascar, Betsimisaraka. I've practiced that one. Sakalava and modern and southern Madagascar. No, they are not. These are in fact... Yeah, they are India, but we get claims on Madagascar if we do it. Okay. Do I think if I take any of the mainland Americas... Oh, you think if I take any mainland Americas I should take Louisiana, it's such a good province to land in. Or Florida, be easier to defend. Big coastline, narrow entrance. Oh, I've done a mission! These are easy. Fulfill income, okay. Construction time and cost down. So buildings right now are super cheap. So I definitely need to be making the most out of that. Yeah, they're only 65 ducats at the moment. Hell yeah! And my pirate income... Sorry, sailor income is now 11 a month. That's a lot better. So yeah, all I needed to do was invest some of my development into just boosting up this province. A new coin. In times past, the pirate prince used to be on the reverse side of the coins. Now the Republic rejects such personality cults. If we were to issue a new high purity coin, we would improve people's faith in the coinage and, of course, also remember who did this. So reject the reform, gain 2 inflation, or let the coins be issued and we lose 10 Republican tradition. Seeing as we don't use Republican tradition to elect rulers, I think we're just going to issue those coins. Because we want to have Captain Benjamin on the coins, surely. Portuguese Louisiana was discovered. Right. Oh dear. Chorty is currently occupying the whole of New Valencia. Well, I'm going to remove you so I can have a diplomat to actually send to places. Because I was wondering whether I could justify any trade conflicts. Must have at least 20% of the total power in the trade node. Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. And I think we need to have at least 10% pirates present to spawn the other 2. So we need to get more pirates in the Caribbean. Slipping standards. Our use of naval fighting instructions allowed us to put up fearsome blockades of enemy coasts, but the moment our sailors are just getting a bit lazy. Blockade efficiency or stability. Well, I'm a republic, so stability is like amazing. So I do not want to cost stability. That would be very, 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 very bad. Very bad. Did I mention very bad? Right, let's get another production and another admin. We're now up to 62 cost. But we have gone up from like a 13 to a 25, so our development has gone up. Doubled, in fact. And there's the workshop in the Bahamas. Excellent. Where are my pirate ships? I need to keep an eye on when I can do this exactly. Except apparently we're patrolling too far away to do it. There we can. 34. So we're still 6 years. No, 7 years. A long time, in other words. So remember, 1634 we can pirate again. I don't think I want to get an admiral. Yeah, I really do need to do something about just like building more ships or something. But with buildings being so cheap, I really ought to be focusing the buildings. So we are going to want a shipyard. 100% we're going to want a shipyard and probably a dock as well. Is this a centre of trade? I doubt it. No. Meanwhile, what's going on in the rest of the world? Aragon's having a few rebel problems. That's not really a surprise. I feel like the Knights may have expanded again. Or, no, they're about to expand again. As are the Mamelukes. Russia is growing bigger. The captains have taken over. Morale of navies up by 10%. Naval leader fire +1. Unfortunately, that's not retroactive. It would be really nice if it were. But if we were to hire a new admiral right now, it would have between 2 and 7 pips? Really? No, because my naval tradition is still appalling, because it starts at 0. Okay, so it's actually a really good thing that we started with an admiral. And that's only because we have a pirate king, which makes the ruler into an admiral. Or is that always true? That might always be true. Yeah, that is in fact always true. So unlike monarchies, which have generals, we have admirals. Which is just one of those little differences that I really like. What's the MTTH for the other pirate republics to spawn? I don't think they can at the moment because we don't have enough privateering in this area. But because buildings are so cheap right now, I really do need to focus those, otherwise I would be getting some more light ships going. We still have time. Another 72 years. The golden age of piracy doesn't actually expire until all the pirates are spawned. Apparently. Betsy Misaraka is still alive! Yes! Great power list. Aragon still in first place. Aragon like double the size of everybody else. Even bigger than Ming. And then me with my score of 26. And thankfully we get Aragon's tech levels, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Unless Aragon hadn't actually teched up into Diplo yet, which is possible. Unlikely. I was usually pretty on the ball with that, but possible. So actually I should be trying to save Diplo points, which is very annoying. In which case, let's actually go ahead and focus Diplo. Because this is a cotton province, so I kind of want to keep the production coming in. Nobles demand privileges. The privileges of the nobility have been under constant assault as Benjamin has attempted to centralise more and more control. The nobles have finally lost their patience and are demanding that they are given back what they believe to be rightfully theirs. I'll take the disorder. Screw you guys. There ain't no nobility in New Providence except for the king. The smugglers get influenced by being at peace, so both of them are actually gaining influence right now. Except the captains have both reforms in their favour, so the captains are going to be big time in charge. I hope the Madagascar Republic spawns. I'm not sure that it's going to be able to. I think it needs to be Europeans. I think. At least they never spawned in my Madagascar game. But that might be because it was already owned by pirates. Could pirates really spawn off of pirates? Probably. I really want to do a trade conflict against somebody. I was just thinking actually, you know who would be even easier? Natives. Do natives even have ships? Sort this by total. It would be nice if I could sort this by like neighbours. They have force limits, but by the looks of things, no ships. Oh no, Tupi do. Tupi, I'm pretty sure, are natives. I recognise them from colonisation. Natives have to reform before they can build ships. Okay, so Tupi must have reformed. Yep, duchy. And Arawak. Recognise them from colonisation too. That was a great game, by the way. If you want a really good game about colonization, check out Colonization. It's ancient. The original is better than the Civ 4 version, though that one is absolutely workable. It's a fantastic game. It's one of the things I might need to do in one of my Let's Tries one of these days. It's ancient. It's like 20 years old, but still holds up. English Civil War were amongst the possible options. They went with the Royalists. 23 pretenders rise up in Montgomery. Dun 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 dun. Oh, and Britain's in Florida now. Oh, I can't reach down here, can I? Yeah, I really do need to take Jamaica. Jamaica would be a better naval port than the Bahamas. At least until we actually get stuff forming around Florida. Yeah, Sid Meier's colonization, that's the one. Aspect of faith can be selected. So we were talking about getting discipline, were we not? Yeah, I think that's still the best choice. Marvellous. So if we were So we can't actually fabricate on you. We can steal your maps and stuff, but we don't actually need to do that, I don't think. We can support rebels, but that's not really a focus. I would like to support rebels against Carabas. Yeah, we can't actually fabricate against you. Curses. It does look like this is not going to call in their allies. So does this count as a colonial war? I think it does. Some members of the Parliament are having serious concerns regarding our increasingly bad reputation. I'm a pirate! It's kind of the whole point. They're claiming it's having a negative effect on our trade relations, you don't say. How the hell did you get elected to my Parliament? This question has been raised numerous times in the past, but not that many have thought it to be of any consequence. We're getting some really weird events here. It's not really a problem, lose stability, or that is probably wise. I mean, I'd really like to say it's not a problem, because I'm a frickin' pirate. But I don't want to lose stability, it's too big of a downside. Also, we have enough money to build a thing, so we should totally build a thing. Ooh, do I want to save up for a manufactory? No, we're going to need to do that by pillaging. We do have this modifier for like 20 years. So long as we keep at least one build slot, I think we'll be okay. Furthermore, let's continue deving up. We are really leaving the production behind, and it's just getting more and more expensive now. The Treaty of Tortillas. Clear the Pope is no longer infallible. He's claimed that colonial Eastern America is the sole domain of France. Does that mean that France is going to get upset by the fact that Aragon's doing this? Also, well played, Aragon. You've completely cut Britain off. Although losing that means you're going to have to go slightly further north to get the colonial nation to spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, you're not. You're fine. Yes, the trade node I was thinking of. This is all in the Caribbean. This is not. So you're fine. That moment in life when a pirate's reputation is important. It is important. The reputation for being ruthlessly awesome is very important. Is Aragon Protestant? Yes, Aragon is indeed Protestant. And Castile is Reformed, as is Portugal. And Britain's Anglican. France, however, is Catholic, as is Austria. Who is the emperor nowadays? It is still Bohemia. Wow, Bohemia came really close to converting to Protestantism, and then apparently just about resisted them. Bohemia has also grown, so Bohemia could still counter Austria, I think. Who are you allied to? Anhalt, Limburg, Salzburg, Aragon, Papal State, and Russia. Oh! Sweden was not independent. Clearly. Because they wouldn't be able to gobble it up in just one go. I did not actually check to see if Sweden was independent. Interesting. This is a very strong Denmark. We're going to see a Scandinavia soon. And Scandinavia usually goes colonial. This is going to be a good game. There's going to be multiple colonial powers. We've got Portugal, Aragon, Castile, England, France already. And I am expecting to see more. We might see a Morocco, because Morocco's had a pretty good game. Burgundy might. Denmark almost certainly will, / Scandinavia. Several of the leading members of the government are deeply worried about some of the changes proposed to how the realm should be ruled. They demand a stop to such outrageous reforms based on our tried and proved traditions of all of 5 years. And there we go, we've got our shipyard. Ignore them, they're idiots. A new pirate prince. Bartholomew Reed. 344. I thought I had a choice in who to elect. Oh, no, I don't, because we had no other admirals. So unfortunately Benjamin died, so we've got a 412 in charge now. And I wanted to check out the renowned buccaneer. Yeah, we do not have a famous pirate leader. So we cannot complete this task. And also Bartholomew needs to be in charge of that. Pirate Prince Bartholomew is now an inspiring leader who will increase the morale. And I think he is actually a better ruler than Benjamin was. I think Ben was a 334. He's also quite young, 29. Right, so I could change to Aragonese, but could I not also just switch to Tuscan? I mean, I think we need to. Because we were suffering penalties for not being Tuscan. Oh wow, yeah, that increased our income by 4.4 ducats. That's quite a bit. We still have 2 building slots. 3 more years until the next raid is possible. We finished our fabrication on Caribas, except I can't actually get to any of them. The only one I can get to is Britain. So we're going to need to wait until Britain colonizes or gets its colony and then attack it. Because I'm not attacking Britain as is. Otherwise we're going to have to do no CBs, and that costs stability, and stability is something you really don't want to spend as a pirate republic. We might actually need to take exploration ideas. I really don't want to take exploration. Because that will allow us to fabricate in any colonial region. I really don't want to do that, if I can avoid it. Kalundwe. Internal conflicts. Okay. Alright, so the next building that we need is a dock, I would say. Or possibly a university. Well, university doesn't take a build slot. So I think we're going to get a dock and a manufactory and a university. We'll need to wait a little bit longer until we can go raiding again, but then when we can, it's going to be awesome. How's the privateering here looking? 5% pirates. Yeah, we need to get like 10%. It's going to be difficult. It's definitely going to be difficult. At the end of the English Civil War, order has finally been restored by the Royalists. 10 absolutism, gain 2 stability and 50 prestige. And they get to keep the new model army, which is a pretty nice modifier too. Freedom of the press. With the spread of popular literacy and a great number of cheap minor publications, pamphlets, chapbooks and similar have become to circulate in greater numbers. We can lose innovativeness or lose national unrest. I'll take the national unrest because 1, we're a 1 province minor where my entire army is, and 2, we have -4 national unrest anyway. Thanks to national ideas and idea groups. I guess they don't have King Charles being a total dimwit. Who is the king? Queen Elizabeth I. Yep, that would do it. The Ottomans and the Knights are still fighting. Grant export licenses. When the Crown could not or would not pay cash, the nobles would instead grant to the nobles. They would instead do special favours. Tax income boost, which would lose us a little bit of Republican tradition, and we can gain some. Again, we don't use Republican tradition for re-elections, so just keep spending it. Rule Britannia intensifies. I don't want a strong Britain, though. I was hoping the Civil War would last a while, because I've got to fight against their colony here. And I am a little bit terrified that they'll just call in Big Boy Britain to fight me. In which case I'm not too sure what my 6 heavies are really going to achieve. Although Britain's fleet is 9 heavies only. Mostly transports. Like the one I absolutely do not want to fight? Aragon. Or Venice. Or Denmark. Or France. Hell, even Morocco. Carabas, 16 lights. So we could easily fight Carabas. How much trade do you have here? You need at least 10? No, I need 10%. You need 20%. No, you have 16. That's Portugal. It's actually going to be quite difficult justifying trade conflicts against colonial nations. Carabas must have at least 20% total power in a trade node where we have at least 10%. They currently have 16 where I have 3. And unfortunately, if I increased my trade power share to 10, that would also cost some of Portugal. Sorry, some of Carabas. So we're not going to be able to do it there. Panama. Only 13% owned by New Valencia. Mexico, no. Mississippi is mostly Portugal. Crap, I was kind of relying on... Great Britain is pirating the living daylights out of Chesapeake. I was kind of relying on using trade wars, in much the same way as I did with Madagascar, but that's not going to be possible. Well, at least we can raid again next year. New ideas. Advisor cost and spy network. No, we're fairly close to teching up, so we want to save for that. Also, institution in what, 17 years? And that institution is going to be manufactories. So I definitely want to build a manufactory by the time that rolls around. I feel like Elizabeth is underrated in the game. Yeah, I kind of thought that looking at her stats. Although she has a 6 in military, for she has the heart and stomach of a king, and a king of England too. I could build some more stuff, but I think I am going to save money now. Am I going to support the American Revolution? I probably need to. It would definitely be in my favour to have colonial nations getting independence. Because then they are not giving trade power to their overlords. And at that point I can do trade wars. So the Castellans down here and Scotland. In fact, that is just Scotland. How's your control looking? Scotland is 20%, but again, if I started to encroach here, somehow I'd work out a way. That would be difficult. I really don't want to go colonial. I really don't. I think this is just going to be a game where we're on speed 4 a lot. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's March. April. Bring out the trade, transport, fighty ships. Opposite to all of the things I just said. When can I go? August. Okay, keep privateering. So Castile is also in New England. Sorry, is in Colonial America. Portugal. Actually, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because if Portugal gets a colonial nation here, then I can fabricate on them. So at the moment I can fabricate on Florida. As soon as that's built. Portugal and Britain. This is actually really good. This is very good. So now I just need to make a conscious decision to not take these provinces. I need to take their provinces from elsewhere.